morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio, so today we need to have a look at Battle Partners reveals. I showed you the INO stuff earlier, like the Bellibolt. Basically, there was too much to put in one video, and the Bellibolt was a new EX, and we had a special illustration rare, and that seemed like the best place to start. But let's not go pretending there aren't other awesome things about which we need to chat, because there totally are. We got a bunch of N stuff, we've got a bunch of Lillie stuff, so let's start off with N. And look, we'd already seen N Zoroark. That's a card we've already got an English scan of. For what it's worth, it seems to be the same card now as it was back then. It doesn't seem like there's been any changes. And we knew we got this amazing ability Trade, lets you discard a card from your hand to draw 2 cards, which is redonk. And we knew that for 2 energy, you could copy one of your benched N's Pokemon's attacks. And we'd already seen N's Reshiram, including the illustration rare, that either let you do 20 damage for each damage counter on it, or 170. Remember the rule, by the way. The rule always is, if it says you need the specific energy, then you do. If it doesn't say you need the specific energy, then you don't. So yeah, this is really good, but we need other Pokemon to copy. Well, wonderful news, we've got some. Plus an absolutely ridiculous and unfortunately named item card. So what have we seen? Well, I mean, we did see N Zorua. It's not particularly relevant, but look at it. Also, I said this in the previous video, but let me say it again. N Zoroark only evolves from N Zorua. That is specifically written on the card. N Zoroark does not evolve from a non-N Zorua card. It has to be N Zorua. So what have we got? Well, the big one today is N's Darmanitan. 2 colorless energy, 30 damage for each basic energy card in your opponent's discard pile. Now, this is actually kind of good, because it doesn't have to be copied with Zoroark. There's going to be a bunch of attacks we see on N's Pokemon where we go, well, it's too expensive or too awkward, but we can copy it with Zoroark. The difference here is this just works on its own. Against an energy-hungry deck, this is going to be amazing. Also, kind of unfair against Sigilyph. Like, I don't think Sigilyph is a good enough deck to need a specific counter, and I'm not saying this is designed as a specific counter, but I am saying that against a Sigilyph deck, this card is going to own. Never mind, eh? But this is just a generally good attack for 2 energy. Worth noting that by the time this comes out, we will have seen a rotation, and you're not going to have double turbo energy anymore to use with this, which is going to be annoying, but I'm going to show you a card in a minute, which is, it's going to lessen the blow, shall we say. It's going to make things a little bit easier. Awesome. There is also, I should say, a second attack on here, which is alright. 3 energy, 90 damage, discard all energy from this Pokemon, and it does 90 to one of your opponent's bench. 90 to the active, 90 to the bench. And get used to me saying this about N's Pokemon. This is another one of those that I think is better if you are copying it with Zoroark. I think 2 energy, discard them both with Zoroark, far more manageable than 3 energy, discard them all with Darmanitan. Still a decent enough attack. 90-90 is good. And if this is a turn 2 attack, let's say you're copying it with Zoroark. Turn 1, you attach an energy. Turn 2, you evolve into Zoroark and Darmanitan, attach a second energy. Your opponent's had 1 turn. They've not been able to evolve yet. And you can do 90-90 with N Zoroark? Yeah. That's going to cause some problems for your opponent. I should say we do have Darmanitan here as well. But don't get too excited about these pre-evolutions. It's cute and all, 2 energy 20, 3 energy 50, but if you're playing Darmanitan, you have to play N's Darumaka. Very important. And again, do remember that N is copying the attacks of benched Pokemon, which means that you do have to evolve that Pokemon up on your bench in order to copy it. I like N's Darmanitan, the first attack, generally. I love the second attack copying with Zoroark. I adore the second attack if I'm copying it early game with Zoroark. If I can pull this off when my opponent hasn't had a chance to evolve yet, which if you go first is really not that difficult. You're talking 2 stage 1s and an energy attachment both turns. Yeah, it's absurd. But I have been telling you about this item card. Now, it's actually called, in Japanese, it is literally called Ends Point Up. It's going to be translated in English as Ends PP Up because the item is called PP Up in English. That's the name of the item. So we're going to have an item called Ends PP Up. And what this does is it lets you attach an energy from your discard pile to one of your benched Ends Pokemon. This card is ridiculous. So it's only basic energy, but it's absolutely flat out ridiculous broken. Like, one of the things I was lamenting was the fact that we've got Dark Patch rotating, which only attaches darkness energy and only attaches to bench darkness Pokemon, because that would be really good with Zoroark. Well, now we've got a better version of this that attaches any energy, basic, to any of your benched Ends Pokemon and doesn't help your opponent. Your opponent can't play this card unless they're also playing Ends cards. This is one of the most broken cards in the format. This card is absolutely ridiculously absurd. It's going to make Ends cards way better. And look at Darmanitan, 2 energy attack. Look at Reshiram, 2 energy attack. Not a coincidence on the part of the card designers here. This is absurd. And we've also got a Sigilyph as well. Now, we've got a basic Pokemon, single energy 20 is pretty garbage, but Psychic 2 colorless energy, if you have exactly 1 prize card remaining, you win the game. No ifs, no buts, no maybes, no KO. Your opponent's blocking you, any of that. No. What your opponent does is irrelevant here. This isn't an effective attack done to the defending Pokemon. This isn't damage that can be blocked or any of that. You got 1 prize card remaining, you win. And again, it's not actually free energy on a Sigilyph. It's 2 energy on a Zoroark, pop a Sigilyph on the bench, win the game. Zoroark, I am absolutely convinced, is going to go down as a ridiculous card. An iconic card, one of the best Scarlet and Violet cards. The ability is ridiculous. The attack is ridiculous. We've got an item card that lets us pay for the attack even more easily, and now we got a decent suite of attackers to copy. I think N is the current front runner in terms of battle partners. Looking at which cards we're going to be playing and which are going to be impacting, N is the front runner. But we do have a bunch of Lillie cards as well. So what have we got in terms of Lillie here? Well, we do have Lillie's Clefairy, which we saw previously. That's the one that makes your opponent's Dragon Pokemon weak to Psychic, which is fine. And the really nice attack that does 20 damage plus 20 for each of yours and your opponent's bench Pokemon. We talked about this before, and the conclusion was really good attack for 2 energy and useful ability, depending on how many Dragon Pokemon we see in the metagame right now. But we have a bunch of other cards. Like, for instance, we actually don't have that many other cards. We have an item and a Pokemon that this is going to help. We got a Comfey. And Comfey has got single energy, 30 damage. You may return this Pokemon and all cards attached to it to your hand. It's not that exciting. It's not that good. But it also has another attack. And what the other attack says is, single colorless energy, search your deck for any number of basic Lillie's Pokemon, put them onto your bench, shuffle your deck. And this might be a lovely time to remind you, lovely ladies and gentlemen, that this Clefairy does damage based on benched Pokemon. Play any Terra Pokemon, I literally don't care which one it is, try and make it basic, alongside, I don't know, let's say for argument's sake, Area 0 Underdepths, and now all of a sudden, you've got a huge amount of damage, and as long as you can get your basic Terra and your Area 0 turn 1, yes, you absolutely can go up to 8 bench Pokemon yourself, which means that you're doing a ridiculous amount of damage even without your opponent. Like, if you've got 8 bench Pokemon, you're doing 180 just for yourself, and then 20 for each of your opponent's bench. This Comfey actually makes Clefairy way better, with one little caveat. And the little caveat here essentially is that you kind of need 2 energy on Lillie's Clefairy, but you need an energy on Comfey turn 1, so the energy does get a little bit annoying here. I'ma be honest with you. It's not the end of the world, but it is actually a little bit annoying. You have been warned. Still a ridiculously powerful attack, no. We still absolutely love it. Also, because I'm sure some people are going to ask this question, so let me say this now. The Clefairy from Lost Origin. Firstly, it's going to rotate out when this releases, so it's kind of a moot point. But secondly, that accelerates energy to Clefairy. This is Lillie's Clefairy EX. Not even close. Not even in the same ballpark. Don't even worry about it. But what I'm more excited about with Lillie here is the item card, Lillie's Pearl. What we've got here from Lillie's Pearl is it's a tool card. And if you attach it to a Lillie's Pokemon, and that Pokemon is knocked out by damage from an attack, that player takes 1 fewer prize card. Yeah, it's life due. But it's life due that isn't an A-spec, again, with the huge, ridiculous caveat that it is very specifically only for Lillie's Pokemon. And this is why Lillie's Pokemon actually, and they can't quite be, I don't think, on the same level as N's Pokemon. I don't think Lillie's Pokemon can end up being as good because we've got Lillie's Pearl. And I think that's going to limit, to a certain extent, how good Lillie's Pokemon can be. Because if you make them too good and then give them Lillie's Pearl, things get a little bit ridiculous. But over the course of the game, it basically means that your opponent has to take an extra 4 prizes. And again, this is where we need to talk about the rotation, because what is the main way that we are getting rid of Pokemon tool cards right now? What is the best way to remove them from your opponent's Pokemon? Lost Vacuum. Lost Vacuum is rotating out. We are getting this tool in a format where we're losing our good tool removal. Now, there's a very good chance we just get new tool removal straight away. But I'm telling you right now, we're losing our good tool removal right as this card comes out. Now, we do still have Jamming Tower from Twilight Masquerade, and Jamming Tower will basically stop this working. But that's a stadium that you can replace, and now your opponent can play it straight away and use it, and it's on their turn, yeah? They play the stadium, turn off the tool, and then take the KO. But they've still got to get the stadium at the right time. And I think that is very, very relevant. So yeah, this seems pretty good. This seems very good. I also think it means we're just not getting tool recovery. Because if we get tool recovery with this card, it will be too good. So yeah, Lillie's Pearl's kind of broken. The trainer cards we're looking at in this set are absolutely absurd. So far, all we've actually got from Lillie Pokemon-wise is Clefairy and Comfey. It's a good start, but as with all of this, we need to wait and see exactly what the rest of the things coming are. But while we're here, how about a couple of new products? We've got little binder box things for both N and Lillie, where you get yourself 6 packs of the set, and you get yourself a little binder, and you get yourself a coin. Let's look at the N one first, and you get yourself a promo. The promo, by the way, is just a foil version of the regular N Zorua. It is nothing else here, okay? This is very important. So yeah, this is going to be popular. Here's the contents of the Lillie box. Same kind of deal, except now we have a Lillie binder and a Lillie coin, and we have a foil version of the Comfey rather than Zorua. These are retailing for 2,420 yen, which it's not that much, honestly. If we go and convert that into dollars, you're talking per box $15.50 for your 6 packs, your binder, and your promo and your coin. I'm totally all right with that. If these go up for pre-order on the Pokemon Center Japan, I will 100% pre-order both of them. I think they look awesome. So there we go. And given how long this video is, you can see why we did I Know in a separate video. N's Pokemon are looking absolutely absurd. Lillie's Pokemon can make you take 4 extra prizes during the game. We have new products, and everything is looking very fun. But I've told you about all of this now. So now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about Ed's Pokemon and whether you think they're as broken as I do. Tell me if you think Lillie's Pearl is going to end up being broken. Tell me anything you want to tell me in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.